Hey there, it is Monday, February 4th, and time for another update. I want to talk today about perseverance and keeping your eye on the goal because, what actually brought that to mind was the Super Bowl last night. I watched the Super Bowl last night, and it was between the New England Patriots and the New York Giants. And the Patriots were the favored winners because they've had almost a perfect season with no losses, and they've won 3 previous Super Bowls in a row. And the outcome was not what people really expected. They did not expect the Giants to win, but the Giants did win. And I was talking with Jonathan about it this morning, and I was saying, well, you know, what is it that enabled this team to win the Super Bowl over somebody who obviously was a more powerful team and definitely had a better, they had a record for winning. And in light of all the problems that the Giants had over the year, including their coach having to basically, go into the front office and explain why he should keep his job because there was a lot of criticism around the way he was coaching. And there's tremendous chaos within that organization, whereas with the Patriots, they were like a well-tuned, well-oiled machine. They were just a winning machine. So we talked about it, and what we both came up with was the fact that among other things, the Giants refused to dwell on what wasn't working. They refused to dwell on their losses. They refused to dwell on how much better that other team might be and what the odds were that they had to overcome. They focused on what they had. They focused on the goal. They were going to win the Super Bowl. That was their goal. They didn't let anything stand in their way. And when the tough times came, they took them in stride and they just stayed focused. They didn't get caught up in the illusion of, oh, well, they are better than us and this and that and the other. They just said, we have the heart, which is another big thing, and we're going to win. And guess what? They did. They won by 3 points. So I said, well, how does that apply to us today? Well, if you're like me, every day seems to be something of a challenge, especially as we move closer and closer to 2012. Our biggest fears are coming up. We're being hit by them one after another. It's like, it's like being hit by huge waves when you're out in the ocean. And you just break the surface and catch your breath when another one slams you in the face. And so what I got out of that was how the Giants, they must have when they endured another loss, which they ended up getting beaten by the Patriots right before the playoffs by 3 points. They could have let that really defeat them. But instead, they turned that into a reason to be fired up, and that getting fired up got them through the playoffs and into the Super Bowl. So I think about how I could apply that in my life, and the way I look at it is I can get all caught up in all the things that aren't working for me, all the struggles that I have. But if I act like Eli Manning, the quarterback for the Giants, then I'm gonna say, well, you know what, I could dwell there, or I could look at what is working and stay focused on that and stay focused on what I really want. What I really want is in 2012, when we cross the galactic equator, I want to be pretty much free of any of my emotional baggage, because I know that as soon as we cross that equator, we're going to enter a field of very high frequency energy. And that's going to cause, you think that time is really sped up, you have not seen anything yet. It will manifest our thoughts immediately. So whatever we're thinking is going to manifest. And whatever we're feeling is going to manifest, whether we're conscious of feeling it or not. So any fears will immediately be manifested in our lives. And so when I put that in perspective and I think about all the things that aren't working and I think about that, it makes it much easier to step out of my little day-to-day dramas and stay focused on the goal. Because I know all this out here is going to change. And in 4 years, it is going to change dramatically. So trying to get caught up in all this and holding on to it is kind of ridiculous. Use this as my foundation to do what's really important for me, which is focus on my clearing, and so that when I cross that galactic equator, I'm pretty much baggage free as much as possible. So I just took what, you know, Eli did to heart, and that's going to be my objective for the week and for the next 4 years, is to just keep remembering that when I get stuck, to realize I'm getting caught up in the day-to-day stuff, and to step out and realize that, you know, the biggest goal is 2012, and that is my Super Bowl, and I intend to win it. So I hope you're right there with me. Have a good week, and I'll talk to you next week.